Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joyofbaking.com. Today we're going to make a no-bake chocolate cake, also known as a chocolate refrigerator cake or chocolate biscuit cake, and this is what it looks like. This is a beautiful looking cake that is full of chopped nuts and crushed cookies. So good to eat and so easy to make. So you will need just a loaf pan. And I've lined my pan with foil. Make sure you have a bit of an overlap so we can get the cake really easily out of the pan. If you don't want to use foil, you could use plastic wrap, parchment paper, even wax paper. And then I like to just either, you could butter the foil, or I'm just going to spray it with one of these non-stick sprays. Really easy. So, a chocolate cake. So we need chocolate. Actually, to me, this is like a giant chocolate bar. So you will need 10 ounces, 300 grams of chocolate. You can use either a semi-sweet or a bittersweet. You want to coarsely chop it, or I have these like round discs. The important thing is to use a chocolate that you just would just eat on its own, because that's the dominant flavor in this cake. So you will need, besides that, you will need 3/4 of a cup, which is 170 grams of butter. You can use either salted or unsalted. And I just cut it into smaller pieces. It'll melt a little faster. And then we will need 1/4 of a cup, 60 milliliters, 60 grams of. Now, this is a British cake, so you could use golden syrup, but if you live in the States, you may want to use corn syrup. You could use agave, you could use a brown rice syrup, or even honey. And I just add a little bit, like I said, to 1/4 of a cup, 60 grams, just to kind of smooth everything out. And then simmering water, let's put that over there. And we're just going to let that melt. And while we do that, you will need a large bowl, and because we have lots of good ingredients to add to our chocolate mixture. You could kind of call that our chocolate, that's our batter. And now to that, you will need 1.5 cups, which is 220 grams of like pretty finely chopped nuts, as you can see here. Now, I'm using hazelnuts. You could use almonds, you could use pecans, you could use walnuts, macadamia nuts, peanuts. You could use a combination of those. You want, like I said, to chop them fairly finely, although some people, if you want it coarse, that's fine too. And what I do is, I just left a few here to do, I just use a large knife and then just cut it. I mean, you could put them in your food processor and process them that way, but I'm just going to do it by hand. Now, when I do hazelnuts, you could use raw nuts in this cake, but I prefer to toast mine first. And especially with hazelnuts, they come with the shell on. What you want to do is just put them on your baking sheet, put them in a 350 degree Fahrenheit, 180 degree oven, you know, somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. You can always tell hazelnuts are done because first, you can always smell the nuts, and two, if you kind of feel them, with the skins start to peel off. So that's when you take them out of the oven. And then just put a clean dish towel over the top of the baking pan. Let them steam for about 5 minutes, and then just kind of rub them between your hands and take the skins off. But as you can see, there is some skin, the outside skin on my hazelnuts. I like a little. It can taste good. And then put that in your bowl, and then you will need 6 ounces, which is 180 grams of. Like I said, it's a British cake, so we are using Digestive Biscuits, which are very similar to, if you live in the States, to graham crackers. So you could use those just as easily. But I find most grocery stores now sell them, but they don't sell them on the cookie aisle. They sell them on, like, usually there's an international food aisle, and where all the British ingredients are, that's where you'll probably find them. Or specialty food stores, or really online, places like Amazon. And then we want to, crush them. Now, I'm just doing that again on my board with the knife. You could put them in a plastic bag And then just take your rolling pin and bang them to crush them, or use your food processor. Whatever way you want to do that. And you know, if you like big pieces, you can leave them, or I like mine fairly finely crushed. Okay, so there we have that. I'm just going to put all the crumbs into our bowl along with our chopped nuts. And then I'm going to add, as if we didn't have enough chocolate, I'm going to add 1/4 cup, 60 grams, 60 milliliters of chocolate covered raisins, because I love them. Now, you don't have to use raisins. You could just use some kind of dried fruit like cranberries, cherries, apricots, because that would give you a little bit of color. Whatever you like. And that's it. Pretty easy and pretty good. So it's almost melted. Give it a good stir. Okay, that looks good. So take it off of the heat. Just going to put it on a cloth here to dry the bottom. Give it a good stir. Oh, doesn't that look gorgeous? And then all we're going to do is pour it over the top of our dry ingredients and mix it all together. Get all that chocolate. Don't want to waste any. Toss it together. And then once we get it into the pan, we are going to chill it. You know, before slicing, you'd have to chill it at least an hour or two until it's firm. Now, I will say, while you can eat this chocolate cake right away, it does benefit from being chilled in the refrigerator. I actually find like a couple days. Then I find the flavor of the chocolate and the cookies and the nuts all kind of soft and mingle together. And it's, I mean, while it's good the first day, it's even better after a couple days. So, you know, this is a great do-ahead. And then, you know, you can cut it into slices, or you can just kind of break it into pieces and to nibble on. And no one will know how simple this is to make but you. So then spread it out. So, looks good. And then cover with plastic wrap, and like I said, I'm going to put it into the refrigerator until it's chilled nice and firm. You know, that could take an hour or two, or like I said, just leave it in there a couple days. And then when we come back, we will take it out of the pan. So now our cake is firmed up, so we can take it out of the pan. Just lift the sides like that. Then just peel back the foil. And there we have it. So now if you want to dress it up, what I've done is put a little bit of unsweetened cocoa powder in a strainer, and I think kind of gives it a more polished look, I guess you would say. You could also use sipped confectioner sugar. You may know that as powdered or icing sugar over the top as well. And then just take a sharp knife and slice it like so. And there we have it. Isn't that gorgeous? With all the pretty flecks of the nuts and the crushed cookies and a little bit of those chocolate covered raisins. And then really you can just break off or cut pieces. This is a great cake to just kind of snack on. And you know, it's no bake, so it's perfect when the weather gets hot, because you can make it, and then people, when they want a little something sweet, they can just, you know, cut off a slice or just a little piece. And this tastes wonderful. It is like a chocolate bar. You have the really nice chocolate flavor. The cookies, those crushed digestive cookies, which I really like their kind of sandy texture because that goes really nice with the smoothness of the chocolate, and then a little crunch of those hazelnuts. And of course, you can get a little bit of that chocolate covered raisin. That's very good. And you can cover this, store it in the refrigerator a couple weeks, or you really could freeze it. It never lasts that long in my house, but you could do that. So try this one. And until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com.